Hey everyone, Marsh Skeele here, fisherman and co-founder at Sitka Seafood Market. Today I've got a beautiful whole black cod that we're going to break down. I'm going to show you how to remove the pin bones and how to grill it properly here. We're in the middle of Tongass National Forest, rainforest, and as you can see it's pouring down rain, so pretty fitting. Alright, you guys ready to go? Okay, first things first. This is about a 4 to 5 pound black cod. I'm going to run the knife along the backbone here. Then I'm going to cut through the ribs. I'm going to cut the belly open so I don't have to deal with the belly flap. There we are. We got this beautiful fillet black cod. And now this is like the inside belly wall of the fish, so we're going to remove this. We want to keep as much meat on the fillet as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fingers on the outside of the ribs. I'm going to kind of hold my knife against here and just try to have a real thin flap of just these rib bones and the belly flap. A little bit of belly right there. We're just going to clean it up. All right. So we have this beautiful whole fillet of black cod. I'm going to portion it up, and in order to do that, I'm going to follow the pin bones. So just like salmon, black cod have pin bones. I'm going to follow my finger along here. You can see this band right here, kind of right next to the thickest part of the fillet. And you can feel where the pin bones stop, right about there. So I'm going to make this a tail piece. And then I have this nice big portion here with pin bones in. And this is a little trick I learned at the processing plant. How to get the pin bones out is when you're doing it, you really want to leave as much meat as possible so not waste anything. So I'm going to start on the belly side. This is the belly side right here. I'm going to run my knife along. And I'm going to try to just run my knife gently along the pin bones themselves. And you can feel them to make sure you're on the right side. And I'm not really pushing down. I'm just letting the blade of the knife do the work. All the way to the skin. You can see there, it's all the way to the skin. Now I'm going to go on the other side of them. And I'm not pushing down hard. I'm just delicately letting that knife blade do the work. And when I get to the skin, I'm going to make a little cut. I can rip out. Oh, didn't come out cleanly. And that's what you want, just the pin bones, no extra meat wasted. You can pull the pin bones after you cook the black cod. They're easy to pull out just like a salmon. They're a little bit larger, but I prefer to cut them out. So give it a try, not too difficult. I cut the skin a little bit, so I'm going to break this into 2 separate portions. We have a nice big loin here. And then a nice belly piece right here. I'm going to feel along here, make sure there's no pin bones left. We'll clean this up. And there we have it. We've got a big loin, a nice fatty belly. Oop, there's a little bit of pin bone piece right here, so I'm just going to trim that off. So we don't have to deal with any bones. All right, let's do the same thing on this other side. So first part is splitting it off of the backbone, and it helps to be even with the fillet. So instead of having it up here where I can't go really flat, I like to do it at the edge of the cutting board. And there's the frame of the fish. We can save this later and make a stock. And then the same as the last one, I'm going to trim the belly flap and rib bones off. Oop, I cut through a little bit, but I'm just gonna try to leave as much fillet as possible. All right, we have another beautiful black cod fillet. We're gonna do the same thing we did last time. We're gonna run our finger along the pin bones till you feel them stop, so right about there. We're gonna make that a nice tail piece. And then we're gonna start from the belly side. So this is the belly side of the fillet. It's much easier if you start on that side first. We're gonna run our knife right along those pin bones. And you're just letting the slicing motion of the blade do all the work. I'm not pushing down hard. If you push down too hard, you'll cut through the pin bones. All right, I'm all the way to the skin. Now I go on the other side. And that's what you want, just a nice thin piece of the pin bones without any wasted meat. And I go in here and feel, make sure there's no extra pin bones. A little chunk of pin bone right there, remove that. And that's how you make a boneless piece of black cod. All right, now we're ready to grill, guys. We have already marinated a couple pieces from the El Dorado. This is our buddy Jasper, so thanks for the beautiful black cod, Jasper. I made a quick marinade with miso, a little bit of soy, mirin, and a little ginger and sesame oil. Very basic. It's like there's a million different kind of teriyaki miso marinades. They all go really well. A lot of like Japanese flavors go really well with black cod. It's nice and fatty. It does really well with the like teriyaki or miso marinades. So don't be afraid of making your own or mixing up a little bit. I just taste mine and make sure they taste good. And if they taste good, then I feel like they're gonna be excellent in the marinade. Another thing to remember about black cod specifically is black cod is fattier, so compared to most fishes, it does better in a longer marinade. So like a piece of halibut or salmon, I typically don't marinate, but you wouldn't really want to go longer than an hour. For this miso marinade, it's better like overnight, or can even handle a couple days in a marinade. So because of the fattiness, it takes longer for that marinade to penetrate through the flesh. All right, we have a really nice hot Weber grill here. I threw some local alder from just right around here on here, so we're gonna get kind of smoky, nice char on this. Our grill is right around 450 degrees. All right. I'm gonna go put this black cod on flesh side down. I'm gonna try to get a real nice char on the flesh. Ooh. That smoke is catching fire on the alder, so I'm gonna put this on here and close it down so it puts that fire out. While this is cooking, it's a good opportunity to kind of talk a little bit about black cod themselves, why they're so special. So black cod are extremely oily. They're oilier than king salmon or any other kind of fatty tuna you can imagine. They're full of omega-3s because they have all that fat. And why they're so fatty is they live at 200 to 500 fathoms. So a fathom is 6 feet, so 200 fathoms is 1,200 feet. 500 fathoms is 3,000 feet. So 1,200 to 3,000 feet is their range generally. And when they're down that deep, they're under a lot of pressure. So instead of like a rockfish or a salmon would have a swim bladder, an air bladder that would use to regulate its buoyancy, because they're so deep and under pressure, down there they use fat to regulate their buoyancy. So that's why they're so fatty, and that's why they're so great to cook, because you can't really overcook them. So we kind of call them like the pork belly of the ocean. It's kind of like It's a special fish. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I honestly think a lot of people that don't like it just haven't done a good miso or teriyaki marinade, and they haven't got a good char on the grill, because if you do, it's really hard to beat fish. I'm gonna take a look here real quick, see how it's going. Ooh, nice. We're starting to get a nice little caramelization on those. See that bubbling away? Part of the good part about having sugars in your marinade are that then they kind of caramelize. So I have brown sugar in here to kind of balance the saltiness and the acidity of the rice wine vinegar. So when those sugars are in the marinade, then they kind of help caramelize, and you get this nice crispy char on here, just like you're getting right there. So I'm gonna let that go for probably another 30 seconds or a minute. And this grill is pretty hot. So right now you can see the temperature, it's rising to about 400 degrees right now. That's 400, 450. That's pretty good temperature to cook black cod on. You don't want to go too much hotter because it will burn actually. And even though the center of the fillet will be good still, nobody really likes to eat like a blackened, charred piece of fish. So this is like a good, right now, a little over 400 is a great temperature to cook this black cod. We're gonna take another look at it. Another beautiful thing about black cod is because of all this fat in here, you're not gonna be as hypersensitive about overcooking it. So I got the flesh side down on the grill first thing first to get a nice char on it. And now, in order to get this all the way cooked, I'm gonna move it a little bit away from like the hottest heat zone. Ooh, look at that. Okay, this fillet still could use a little bit of char on it. Ooh, we got a little too much flame up here. So I'm gonna put this one, leave this one flesh side down a little bit. Close out that fire a little bit and let all that nice alder smoke kind of season the meat and make it really flavorful. Sorry, you get some more. I just want to put this fire out. All right, are we doing video or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, these are ready. You know they're ready because you can see the flakes kind of coming apart. We got a nice char on here. Ooh. Nice, all that sugar's kind of caramelized on there, so these are ready to pull off. I really like eating these over rice, so the kind of oiliness of the black cod just kind of pours over the rice and seasons them. Oh yeah. And the skin, just like salmon, can be really tasty. It's best if you crisp it up on the grill, but just kind of like a pork skin, it's really fatty and it gets really nice and crisp. So, especially with like this nice little miso soy marinade on here, the skin is going to get really tasty. All right. There we have it. Some beautiful Sitka black cod. This is caught on a long line, so a line that goes along the bottom of the ocean. And this is actually from our buddy Jasper, who does a great job of handling this fish. So they lay a line along the bottom with little, they're called circle hooks, with bait on them. Or they also catch them in traps or pots, where they set a pot down, and it's a really selective way to harvest seafood, because you pull the pot up, you can release all the fish, the bycatch species that are live, and you get very minimal bycatch, and you get almost all black cod. So it's a really clean way to fish. And then the fish get bled immediately and then chilled immediately. And so that's like a really important part of our quality, is handling the fish really well as soon as they're caught in the boat. And then they go to the processor and they get headed and gutted. And then you get this whole beautiful fish like this. They get broken down into portions and back sealed and then blast frozen. And this is from fishing vessel El Dorado. So this is the same fish you'll get in your shares. I didn't bring my forks, I'm gonna eat with my hand, which I'm not opposed to. But how could you not love, oh, the Eagles are checking us out. How could you not love a crispy fleshed miso piece of black cod? It's fatty, it's salty, it's rich. Yeah, it's unlike any other fish. So next time somebody says they don't like black cod, do a 24-hour teriyaki or soy-based marinade. Get it nice and crispy on a grill. You can do it in a cast iron in your house, but it's kind of more fun on the grill. And serve it over rice and change their mind. That is really good.